Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time Disc Golf. This is Andrew Fish. I'm here with Becky Sonnheim.
Good afternoon, everybody.
We're going to watch round one of the Women's Open of Maryland, edition number 2, presented by Prodigy Disc. This is a tournament that was started in 2017. Allie Stone from Northern Virginia and I, you can see us both there. We had the idea for a tournament that could involve more women. There were only a few women in Maryland playing. There's more in other surrounding states. 53 came out last year. We had 48 this year in 2018. And I don't know about you, Becky, but I'm super excited to see the action of this FPO feature card.
Me too. You know, I've been coming to Seneca Creek State Park for almost 10 years now, and I really enjoy any time there's a tournament that's played here. And last year when Allie and Andrew decided to run this tournament, I couldn't wait for the opportunity to play.
Absolutely. So we got a really good Mid-Atlantic card here. We have Becky Sonnheim, Samantha Merritts, Margaret Sassaman, and Allie Stone.
And we're going to see what happens with the action on round one. And hole one is a pretty straightforward hole, a little bit of trees.
Yeah, we're starting on the red tee pad going to the B pin. It's a shade under 300 feet, and that first tree in the fairway is the one that you really need to miss and then carry straight.
It really, truly is. So throwing left-handed, you want to have a little bit of an Anheuser shot, but just let the disc fade and let it do the work itself.
So that puts you maybe around circle 2?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is Samantha Merritts. Samantha's from Northern Virginia. And she's going to leak a little bit right, but fight through a good ways.
She should have an easy upshot right towards the basket for a par. And Allie Stone on Team Prodigy, tournament director. Throwing right on through the woods. Landing just nicely right towards the basket.
That looks like a little tournament director love there.
It is. And Margaret Sassaman from Pennsylvania. Thrown right on down straight towards the middle. Hoping to get a little bit of skip, but it hit a tree. Sam having an upshot with her yellow ruby. Maybe she wanted it to turn right just a little bit more.
So you've got a look here, but it's going to slope down and to the right. Are you actually running this, or are you looking to lay it up for a safe 3?
About a 50-50. So right there was an Anheuser putt that I kind of had to make. And you're correct, it was downhill. So it landed just nicely right there to the basket. Sam trying to get her par.
Oh, that's a great run.
I know. And Margaret trying to get her 3.
Oh, that's for birdie. Oh, good luck, good luck.
And Allie going for her putt. Just missed to the left.
So we'll have some easy cleanups here.
Easy putt for a cleanup. Ladies should all get some easy cleanup putts right here, and then moving right along on hole 2.
So Seneca Creek State Park was built in the 90s, and it was originally an 18-hole loop. It was redesigned a few years ago as a 27-hole course that sort of kind of plays backwards from what it used to be. There's been a very active volunteer group at Seneca, kind of headed up by Bill Underwood. Bill was the 2017 Seneca Creek State Park Volunteer of the Year, putting in over 700 hours of service.
And they built him this lovely shed, Mr. Bill's shed.
Yeah, so he'll be able to have his lawnmower, other tools there. This is hole 2. Going to be a right turning shot. We're playing from the red pad to the C pin. That C pin is kind of the classic Seneca location, elevated.
And right on this hole, I was throwing a champion orc. I was trying to get it to turn a little bit. It did fade out just a little bit to the right. However, it is a pretty easy upshot right towards the basket. And Allie Stone with her drive on hole 2. Fish, I remember you saying at the players meeting, you said, this is Allie's day. So if you have any questions, come to me. Leave Allie alone. That was very nice of you.
Absolutely. Allie did such a really good job in advance of the tournament. She runs DC Discs, so they were doing the vending for the tournament. And that gives her a lot of contacts with T-shirt companies, with disc companies. So she did a great job sort of making my job easy on tournament day by helping to do players pack development, to reach out to a lot of folks. She's really good with, Facebook, social media, and just knowing who the players who could come to this tournament are.
Exactly. And she reached out to me, and probably 4 or 5 South Jersey girls came down to play. So as you could see, Margaret landed right in the middle of the fairway. She should have an easy, putter up shot right towards the basket.
I think she's going AVR 3 there. She wants the stability to be able to fade in through that gap on the right side.
Yep. And here's Sam. That yellow ruby again. She probably wanted that to fade a little bit more to the left.
This really isn't a basket you want to mess around with. It'll sneak up on you in a hurry because it's so elevated.
Yeah, and with that elevated pin, you almost want to be a few feet back from the basket to be able to have an actual putt up. I think Allie did try to run that a little bit, but she should have a putt. I had a fairly straight, level putt towards the basket.
Oh, good run.
I know.
So now you have to kind of climb up there to get your foot set.
Exactly, and that was a little tricky. Oh, no chains necessary.
Absolutely.
With Sam. Nice par. As you can see at Seneca, there's a little bit of gnats that are flying around, but you just keep your hand up and they steer clear.
That turns out to be the mid-Atlantic summer. You just have to deal with it.
Yep. Nice putt by Margaret.
Absolutely. Probably 25 feet there.
Mm-hmm. Here's Allie for a 3.
Oh, yeah.
So, Andrew, when you are putting uphill, where do you try to aim at the basket when you're putting uphill?
I kind of have the mental cue to aim a little bit higher. I know that it's most likely going to, because I'm aiming uphill, it's going to be hard to elevate it. It's a different angle that you have to reach for. So everybody's going to walk away with a par there. That's a pretty good result for that hole.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And hole 3, we're going to play down a hill to the creek, or towards the creek. There's OB all the way to the left side and well beyond the basket. Tight, touchy fairway that you have to work something down.
Mm-hmm. I think Mr. Bill, like you were talking about earlier with his 700 volunteer hours, spotted on this hole.
Yeah, Bill loves to come out and support whatever tournament is happening. He was kind enough to spot on this hole all day. And he said he didn't have to do a whole lot of work, which is, exactly what you want for a spotter.
Mm-hmm. Just cheer us ladies on. So in years past, this basket is generally straight ahead downhill. However, this year it was tucked in a little bit to the right. So as you could see, we're trying to go a little bit more to the right and let it fade off to the left naturally to avoid the out of bounds.
Right. This is the B pin. There's usually 3 or more pin positions on every hole at Seneca. Margaret committed that Anheuser, but she might pay for it.
She did. She went out of bounds, unfortunately. And as you can see on some of the tee pads, you have the square concrete pads, and then you have some small bricks up front. You are not allowed to tee off and have your footing on those small bricks, or else that's considered a foot fault, which is nice about the course because it gives you a little bit of extra room at the end when you're trying to make your drive.
And it'll save the course from some erosion as well. Handy tip for you course maintainers.
Yeah. And that was a great upshot by Margaret.
She's going to go to that sparkly AVR a lot. She calls it homey because, well, that's the stamp on it. And she relies on it heavily.
Yes. Unfortunately, Allie hit a tree and rolled downhill a little bit. I think she's throwing an M3 right there for an upshot.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Sam has a real steep downhill putt.
Looks like she did the smart thing to lay that up, not be too aggressive with her run.
Yep.
Are you going to be smart?
I'm going to run it, actually. Probably about 15 feet from there downhill. It does look a little bit longer, but just missed, and was very happy that it stayed where it was. Margaret for her putt.
There we go.
Nice solid in the chains. Looks like everybody's going to do some cleanups right here. Good job, Sam, for a par. I find at Seneca that a lot of the out of bounds with the creek runs on the left side of the course.
It has definitely been characterized as a lefty-friendly course. You as a lefty might just think of it as comeuppance for all the courses that have been righty favorable.
Hole 3 is also another hole where the out of bounds creek is on the left-hand side. Slightly shorter hole, however, it's uphill and to the right. So for a lefty, you want to have a nice hyzer shot right up towards the basket. For a righty, you really want to have a high anhyzer shot in since it's uphill, so you want to give it a little bit more to make sure that it lands. Right here, throwing a St. Pro, a little bit more stable to overstable for me to guarantee it to hyzer in the basket. However, just hit a tree and landed right on the hill.
Nearly pin high though, right?
Yeah. Margaret Sassaman with her drive. Nice high anhyzer shot like I was talking about.
Really good job getting that disc over.
Yeah. Here's Sam Merritts. Sam actually just started playing pro pretty recently and won her first A tier in Pro Masters Women at the 2 days in May at the Blockhouse this year.
That's pretty impressive. She really hasn't been playing very long. I know she was introduced by her boyfriend who was playing, and her first tournament, or the first time she played, was in about 30-mile-an-hour winds. I know if that's how I started. I'm not sure I would come back.
I know, me too. And there's Allie with her drive. Just hit a tree.
Caught up a little short. She should have some open look at it.
Sam with her putt. Just hit a tree. I noticed on this course a lot, I've had to do a lot of anhyzer putts. I feel like I should have practiced those before the round started.
Seneca will definitely make you work. It's kind of the course that the distances make sense for what you would think would be automatic birdies. You know, there's a lot in the sub 300 range. And we're playing a fairly short layout so that everybody in this tournament can have a good experience.
Yeah.
We see a good birdie there by Margaret.
Exactly.
But because of the woodedness, because of the out of bounds danger, and because of the terrain, a lot of times it's hard to get in position.
Oh, there's Sam again. Not needing much change for that putt. But Andrew, I really do agree with you. I feel like that Seneca, a lot of these holes are holes for a pro that you feel like you should birdie. However, you do need a lot of finesse with your shots because you have to think about the out of bounds. You have to think about where the trees are and where the basket is.
That said, it is one of the most popular courses in Maryland, despite being more or less designed for pros. But it has a lot of options with tee pads, with basket positions.
Yeah, it makes it fun for any age and any skill level. And one thing I also really like about Seneca is that each 9 holes loops right back to the parking lot. So you don't have to worry about carrying all this water, all this food, everything, because as soon as you're done your 9, you can stop back at your car.
Absolutely. Great course design feature there.
In hole 5, Margaret with a straight shot. Oh
my goodness.
Just hit the basket. Let's look at that instant replay.
So I think she's going beat TL here. Look at that just slide right the whole way.
And as we know, Margaret just had her first tournament ace ever on film, and it was on ESPN Women's Top 10.
Yeah, that was during the Women's Global event this year up at Stafford Woods.
Yep, the ladies of Stafford Woods, and she was very excited. And Sam with her drive.
Becky, do you find that it's hard to follow up a shot like that? You know, when you're next on the tee and you've just seen somebody come close to an ace?
Yeah, it is sometimes, you know, because you see that they almost got that ace and you're like, oh my God, now I have to follow it up with something, you know, just as good. But really, you have to play your own game. You have to play the course, not play your competitors, I feel.
Right. It can be hard not to work yourself up into a frenzy when you see other people doing great things like that.
Yep. Oh, just missed that putt. However, I did give Margaret $1 for hitting basket because that's one of our local rules. If you do hit basket, you get $1. If you get an ace, you get $5.
There you go. 5-1 club exists everywhere.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh. And Allie with probably about a 10-foot putt. Oh, just missed. Margaret, their chance of a 2 after just missing a 1. Solidly executes.
Yeah, that's a good comebacker.
Yes. Looks like everybody else is going to be cleaning up for their pars. I'll tell you though, there wasn't a lot of skip when it comes to some of your drives and upshots. You know, sometimes you factor in the skip when you're throwing a specific shot. And with Seneca, the grass was so thick that day, you didn't get much skip.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It means it's not eroding. It's not bare ground.
Yep.
Hole 6 is arguably the tightest hole on the course.
I would have to agree there, Andrew. For being about 280, 290 foot hole, you really have to execute a shot very well to be able to set yourself up at all for a birdie.
Yeah, we're playing red to A, and the theme on this, the right side is absolute death. You cannot afford, and it's left on your screen, but right off the tee. You can't afford to go right because the trees there are much bigger. The left side is downhill, but it's a little more open.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm going to be experiencing that left side for my second shot. Here's Sam with her drive on hole 6. Looked great out the hand, just unfortunately hit a tree.
It looks like she's going to have a lane to get up there.
Yep, I think she stayed right up on the hill.
So we've seen you go stand still a couple times here, and Sam's done it more than once as well. What's your reasoning for going with that?
I like to do a standstill shot certain times because I feel like I have more control of the disc and of my arm with what I do. I feel like sometimes if you do a run up, there's so many other factors that come into play. So I feel like if I can execute the shot with a stand and deliver, I have a higher percentage chance of making that shot when I do that.
Okay, that's good. I really like that play by Sam too, going with a forehand roller.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps the disc vertical, and she landed in a fine spot.
Exactly. And with such a tight hole, sometimes that might be the best shot to do. Margaret should have an easy putt. A pretty tough uphill putt from there. So going to take a bogey. But that's okay for this hole at times. Oh, just missed. And Allie's sponsored by Prodigy. She's on the tournament team. Allie's been playing for a few years now, and she started the Nova Women's Disc Golf Club. And the Nova Women's Club is huge. There's probably about 20 plus ladies that play all the time, travel together for tournaments, and that's really how you make some great friendships over the years.
Yeah, they've done a really good job in a short time. I know this is the 4th year of their women's league. They've got tags. And they have lots of players who are involved in the club playing this tournament.
Mm-hmm. I remember right before the tournament started, they had a big group shot, and it's always lovely to see that. So I remember last year, I brought about 5 South Jersey disc golf ladies down to play, and a lot of them was their first tournament where they traveled, and they were so nervous, but they had so much fun, and they couldn't wait to come back again next year.
Oh, that makes my heart warm as a tournament director.
It does, and it's a testament to you and Allie of how you run a tournament, because if you run a good tournament, people will come back. And this hole is fairly open, uphill shot, but you do have a few cedar trees on the left that you do have to avoid to be able to get up towards the basket.
Yeah, hole 7 is very tough, and it's getting tougher as the years go by because these cedars keep growing wider and taller.
Exactly. And Seneca is one of the only courses where the 2-meter rule is almost always in effect. Luckily for this tournament, it wasn't, but majority of them, they are.
I heard from a couple locals that they were upset with me, but if they want to run a tournament with the 2-meter rule, they can run their own tournament.
Exactly. I thought it was a smart call for the Women's Open edition number 2. So just like you were saying earlier, Andrew, with the cedar trees going taller and wider, sometimes you have to do a trick shot. So in that shot, I had to get on my knees to be able to have a clear shot right up towards the basket. And Sam with a nice easy up shot. Allie with a jump putt. Might have caught a little tree a little bit short.
Margaret doesn't like it, but she'll have a putt.
Mm-hmm. And that was my upshot. So for a par, just missed. It was a little tough with that tree right there on the left-hand side that you can see in Allie's view. But for her, it shouldn't be an issue. Margaret for her 3.
Oh, that's frustrating. So Sam's going to get her disc in just fine.
Mm-hmm. Margaret's not going to be too happy with that bogey. But again, that's a pretty tough hole for being uphill with the trees to contend with.
Definitely. It's 295, and I would say it's probably 30 feet uphill vertically. So it's going to play in the mid to high 300s.
Mm-hmm. And again, for being a fairly open hole, you still need to execute that shot.
All right, 3 4s on that hole, but we're on to hole 8. Hole 8, we're going to be playing from the red tee pad to the B pin. It's about 290 feet. And the story on this hole is that it's going to be kind of a left turn continuously, but it can't just be a hyzer. You kind of need to start something with a little bit of hyzer flip if you're throwing right-handed. I guess for you, you're going to be looking to turn something over.
Exactly, but I'm not going to want to turn it over too much because as you can see, there's that long line of trees on the left-hand side. So for Sam, she had a really nice shot. She stood it up, just had it turn to the right just a little bit.
Yeah, I think she was throwing a maul there, just very controlled. Great job to keep it in the fairway.
Yep. And Margaret really has a lot of snap with her drive. So she can really bomb some of these shots, just like you saw there. She should maybe have about 60-foot shot up towards the pin. Oh, and Allie just hitting an early tree. So on this hole, I decided to throw a CE Valkyrie, my trusted Valkyrie that I've had in my bag for probably almost 7 years now.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Thank you. As you could tell, it just had a nice slight anhyzer and faded nice soft to the ground.
Ooh, Allie getting tricky here.
With the roller.
She made up some good ground, and that right side is pretty open if you can get there.
Yeah. And Sam had a great upshot towards the basket. Should be another nice, easy 3. Allie might have wanted that a little more right towards the basket, but it should be easy putt. And with her trusty homie upshot disc.
She's going to put that by the basket a lot.
She will. And that one I really wasn't going for. It was a little out of my range, so I just wanted to make sure I had a nice, easy upshot right under the basket to give me a 3. And That was a great putt by Allie to save that 4.
Yeah, it looks like she was in 35, maybe 40 on that.
Yeah, that was a great jump putt. Andrew, I feel like I have a hard time jump putting sometimes. I feel like I don't have as much consistency and faith in my putt when I jump putt. Do you jump putt often?
Oh, I love jump putting. I kind of want to be at 33 feet rather than 30 so that I can jump putt.
So you're asking a lot of my outside?
Yes, absolutely. It's like anything else, a comfort thing. You just want to know that to know that it's a shot that you can execute comfortably. So for you, if you're not comfortable jump putting, the best thing to do is stay put.
Yep, exactly. And as you can see, hole 9, like I was saying, every 9 comes right up towards the parking lot. Hole 9, you really want to avoid the cedar trees on the left-hand side. There is a line of trees on the right-hand side, and just behind that line of trees on the right-hand side, you'll see the basket. It's a little out of my range for a good 2. But as you can see, Margaret tried to really get that up there and unfortunately hit that cedar tree on the left, Andrew.
Right. So this is from the white tee pad to the B pin, which is the longest pin on this hole. It's about 400 feet. We're playing it as a par 4 today. Realistically, I'm not sure that any of y'all are really looking to it.
No, we really just want to make sure we get past those trees and that cedar tree on the left to have an easy upshot. And as you can see, it gave most of us some trouble.
Yeah, it is a tough tee shot. And it's also sticky outside today. It was probably 95.
It was. Hydration is the key today.
And having a caddy.
Yes.
I will say, we had 48 players, and I know I fed about 90 people. There were lots of volunteers. Look at those bugs.
I know.
There were lots of volunteers coming out to spot, to caddy, to help with scoring, to help with cooking. This was really, like, I might feel like I get a lot of the glory as a tournament director, but the story is not about me. It's about the disc golf community coming together to run this tournament to give a lot of women an experience they probably won't get at many tournaments.
I agree. It truly always is a group effort. You know, the TD is usually one that's up there giving the rules, you know, running the show, but it's a lot of the behind the scenes efforts that really makes an event run so smoothly. It looks like Sam was trying to make that putt, just missed a little to the left.
Oh, look at you, dead center.
Trying to save that 3.
So that'll be a birdie for you on the hole.
Yeah, that's my Peachy. I call her Peachy.
Allie with the PA3.
Just missed. You know, I've been watching Allie play and develop her game over the last couple years, and it's been really great to watch her develop, throw further, figure out which Prodigy discs work great for her and her bag, and which shots work well. And I enjoy playing with her every time.
Definitely. She and Sam have sort of followed a similar trajectory in that they started playing AM and then they moved up to advanced, and now they've pretty much committed to playing pro all the time. It's a good path for disc golfers to test themselves, to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So that's the final hole of our front 9. It's time for snacks for the players. It's time for you to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you on the back 9. Thanks for joining me, Becky.
You're welcome anytime, Andrew.